suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Reality Redefined. I did that just for Ian.
Because I'm suspicious?
No, because Ian has this like strange TikTok addiction.
That you started.
How is it? But
I was quite content to ignore TikTok as something that the kids were doing, and didn't need to even get involved. And then you kept showing me these funny things on TikTok and saying, "Why don't you have TikTok?" So I get TikTok, and then like a week later, I'm like, "Dude, did you see that video on TikTok?" He's like, "I don't look at TikTok anymore." Because you're an asshole.
So if you want, so if we were to swap TikTok with say heroin,
yes,
you could be like, oh, "It's not my fault. You were the one that got me hooked on heroin."
If you're the one who continuously stuck me with a needle and shot heroin into my arm, yes, you're the one who got me hooked on heroin.
The heroin that is TikTok.
Yes, it's your fault.
It's all my fault.
Yes.
And the funny thing is, Mandy's with us too, by the way.
Hey, everyone.
Hi, Mandy.
And I swear we'll probably I'll try not to embarrass her this week. So,
How did you embarrass her last week?
I don't know. I'm sure.
I mean,
easy.
other than the fact that you're her husband in general, I mean, that's embarrassing.
But
enough.
I got Mandy hooked on TikTok also.
You did.
So basically, you're a pusher who's not even making any
No.
money off
Exactly.
of it.
I know.
You're the worst kind of
So I
pusher.
pushed my drug out there. Then I was like, I'm done with it.
Yeah, that's the worst type of thing.
I
you
don't
could
know, Mandy. You know, I think you've finally gotten away from. You don't send me TikTok videos on TikTok anymore, do you?
Maybe a few nights ago I did, but I've gotten smart and I try and send them via text now so that
'Cause
you'll actually look at them.
I'll actually watch them then, but.
I send them to my kids at nighttime and they're like, "Go to bed, Mom." I'm like, "But you got to see this one. It's really funny."
This was really funny.
You sent me one today, and I cracked up.
Oh, you sent that
The dog one?
the
Uh-huh.
dog one, Ian? Yeah, that was pretty funny. I enjoyed that.
It was funny.
Well, anyway, so we're not actually talking about TikTok.
TikTok.
Today. I just figured I'd play at the beginning because hey, there's no copyright on it, so I can get away with playing things from TikTok, right?
I don't know. Is there?
Don't know.
It's not copyrighted. It's things that people do and put on there. So
Is that song isn't copyrighted?
I don't think so. I guess we'll find out when I get flagged. I guess, but
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
I will say that's like one of my favorite songs off TikTok. though.
Mine too.
I've seen it in a couple videos, but I never really.
There's
paid
one that has this little cat, so they're like playing that song, and they like there's a paper bag sitting there, and as they scroll down, it's this little kitten inside the paper bag, and it pokes its little head out at the end. It's kind of funny.
I like those. I like the cute ones.
Or
They're cute and funny.
There's another one like that too, where it's like someone like walking up to their bed, and their bed has like is covered in stuffed animals, and as they approach the stuffed animals, you realize the little dog in the middle is not a stuffed animal.
Apparently, you like animal videos.
No.
Mine are like of all the moms doing the ratchet. I'm a savage.
Oh yeah.
Classic. Yeah.
I don't know if my TikTok has really found me yet, because I get like a lot that I'm like cracking up and I love, and even some political ones. That's why I try to avoid Facebook now. But I'm not getting any like pro the other side political ones. Generally,
Yeah.
I get pro my side, so it's okay. But I usually scroll past them. I don't like them or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if it's really found me yet.
No. The algorithm hasn't found what you
as
like.
much as I'm on it should have. I don't know why it hasn't, but
Do you go in like hours long
Yes.
I have
TikTok
yes.
holes?
Yes, because sometimes what will happen is like, so my charger's right by my bed, so I can like lay in bed and my phone will be charging.
Yeah.
So like I'll get up and like go to the bathroom and I'll take my phone and I'll get on TikTok because what else are you gonna do in the bathroom other than that?
Then the
Use it.
next thing you know, your phone is dead.
And the phone's dying, so then I'll finish up and then I'll go back and lay down and plug my phone in, and TikTok's still on, and then I'll just keep going, and then before you know it, the sun comes up, or in my case, the sun goes down because I work nights, and it's like, huh. Yeah.
How much time did I just? Have you spent like 6 hours on there? Before?
No, I don't think I've done 6 hours.
What's the longest
I
stretch
think I've
you've done
done
it?
probably 2.5. Maybe.
I've done close to 3. I'll
Yeah.
say 10:30. I'm like, all right, you get till 11. That's it. And then I'm like, oh, it's 11:02. I already missed the cutoff. Might as well keep going.
Right. I do the same thing. It's like, oh, just one more. Okay, just one more. Okay, just one more. And then you got that one that's like, hey, go outside, take a breath. Take a break from TikTok.
Really?
And I'm like, shut the fuck up. I want to
Does-
go out more.
Does it really
I
say
get-
that on there?
Yeah.
I get the sleepy ones. I actually downloaded the app. It's called Sleepy or Sleepy Time or something. And I'll be scrolling through TikTok, and then it goes, "Hello, I'm Carissa Vassar. This is
That
your
must be a
app for-"
nighttime thing. Because I've seen those too. But I'm at
Really?
work, so I don't want it. I'm like on my break at work going,
Dope.
no,
So-
I don't want sleepy time. Give me funny
Yep,
animals.
I downloaded it, and now she puts me to sleep at night.
That's interesting.
I turn her app on and listen to her tell a story.
Really?
You know what's funny though is like there'll
It worked.
be times where I'm at work and I'm like Nick and I are working together and you'll text and I'm like, what the fuck is she still doing?
I know. I'm like, I don't know. She's probably playing on fucking
He
TikTok.
always tells me, "Go to bed." I'm like, "Quit being so mean. Like, I'm entertaining you. You're at work."
Yeah, but you're gonna be at work in like 3 hours.
It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. You should be asleep.
Obviously, I can't sleep if I'm still up.
Playing on TikTok.
Well, whatever. There's men on there, and they do dances.
I
There
guess
are men on there.
I'll dance for
There
you.
are women
No, you
too.
won't.
Whatever, woman. I'll give you the sexy dance.
Sorry.
Did you throw up a little in your mouth? Because I threw up a little in mine. That tasted surprisingly like
So it's-
McDonald's a little
so-
bit.
Nick, was it Ian and Mandy in one cup? Is that what it is?
Oh, gross.
I don't know what's worse, you dancing or the cup thing. I think you dancing, but that's just me.
Here we go. You said you weren't going to do this.
All right. Well, I
I didn't
always
take you very. We didn't even start the dang show yet.
We have a topic, ladies and gentlemen.
is that your way of getting me on topic, Ian?
Oh, I'm the last person who's going to get you on topic.
It's normally me like chasing you back on the
Right,
topic.
yeah, no. If I'm getting on topic, then there's a problem.
All right. So we actually do have a topic today,
Yes.
and it's one that we've done before. Actually, I think this is the third time we've done this.
Something like that.
So originally, I normally send out the topic schedule to Ian like 2 weeks in advance.
Sometimes even longer.
Yeah, and surprisingly enough, he still doesn't do fucking notes. He did do notes for this.
I have
episode,
notes today, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
shouldn't harass him too much. But so I sent out the schedule a couple weeks back, and Ian's like, "Well, you know, this episode's like the Sunday before Halloween, right?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, shouldn't we do something that's like
Spooky?
spooky, something Halloween themed?" I was like, "Yeah, I guess so."
Yeah.
And
You know, if you showed as half the enthusiasm for the real holiday that is Halloween as you put towards that fake Christmas holiday.
oh, give me a break. Christmas is the greatest holiday of the year.
It is not.
It is.
It is not.
It's fun.
It is stress.
It's
and,
not. What's stress about it?
well, nothing for you, but Mandy's probably stressed because she's got to get gifts for everybody, make sure everyone's taken care of. She has to make sure that all the plans are set. You just collect gifts and go to work.
Oh, well, that's not true. Is Christmas really stressful for you, Mandy?
I really like the music.
Yeah, so do I.
That's my least favorite
I've been
thing.
singing Christmas music
Oh
already.
my god.
You two are... Why am I friends with you?
I have actually getting a pretty decent, nice little Christmas record collection. I've got some nice ones.
I'm getting
Except
a
for the
really
ni-
decent case of gastrointestinal disorder.
Except for the 98 Degrees one. What, Mandy?
It's all right.
Me-
It's fine. Whatever.
You just insulted your wife. so-
Did I buy that for you, or did you buy that for you?
What?
The 98 Degrees Christmas album.
Like an album?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, probably you.
Okay.
I don't really buy them.
No?
No. I got other stuff to do.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Appalled by the fact that we buy records.
No, Mandy
No,
found out
it's-
about this great new Wayfair thing on our last show.
Mandy's been buying children.
Cheap plug, cheap plug.
Oh, it's great. So yeah, we're gonna do creepy stories from the internet. Now, like I said, this is the fourth episode of Reality Redefined. We've done 138 episodes of the Life and Draw podcast before that. So, and all those episodes are still up. So you can actually go back and check out the creepy stories from the internet.
Right. You
part
can,
1 and 2.
you should, and you must.
You will.
Yes.
Damn it. Or die. No.
No, well,
Okay.
I'm cool with it, but I'm just worried that maybe
That's
maybe
not
we should
good.
have some legal advice standing by just in case.
We are not. We do not wish the death of anyone.
Yeah, we do not endorse or condone or participate in the death of anyone.
Touche.
Well, Nick kind of kills me a little bit, but
Ian, you kill me
that's-
every fucking day.
I know we're killing each
All
other.
right, so yeah,
slowly.
so let's come up with some stories, some creepy
Now,
stories.
I guess
from
I
the
should
internet.
confess because I didn't realize there was creepy stories from the internet. Although I did get them off of the internet, I just
Okay.
went for creepy stories that I thought were creepy.
And
I like that.
but you got them from the internet, so that's from the internet.
Well, where else are you going to get them from?
Books,
Where are
TV.
those? Well, I mean, some of these stories were on the news.
Okay, let's go for one. Throw one out there, Ian.
All right, let me open up my notes.
Or do you want me to go first?
You go first because I got to scroll through these. Okay.
Okay, so the first one I got, it's not really creepy. It just part of it is pretty damn sad, actually. So have you guys ever heard of Nathaniel Bar Jonah?
No,
No.
So he's this guy from Massachusetts.
sounds like a Massachusetts name.
Yeah. So he has he had a really long history of kidnapping and sexual abuse of children as an adult. But
As in, he was doing that. To
yes,
children? Okay.
yes. As far back as like 1975, and his abuse actually started a lot earlier than that. I know that in 1964, when he was 7, he had lured a 5-year-old neighbor over into his basement, telling her that he had just received a Ouija board for his birthday, and that he could predict the future, is what he told her. And then once they're down in the basement, he attempted to strangle the girl, but she started screaming, and Nathaniel's mother heard her and came to her rescue. Now, when he's 12 years old, he lures a boy to a hill, I guess, in their neighborhood, under the guise that they were going to go sledding, is what he said. But they get to the hill. He overpowers this boy and sexually assaults him. So a couple years later, he attempted to lure 2 other boys down the road and into a cemetery, where apparently he intended to kill them. But I guess one of the boys got suspicious and they took off. So he wasn't able to do anything there. But as an adult, he would often impersonate police officers to lure children into his car to sexually assault them. And it was this happened multiple times. That's kind of the thing that I didn't really understand.
You found creepy about it?
Yeah. Well, it takes a left turn here in a couple minutes.
That okay.
And so several times he was actually witnessed abducting children. He would be caught shortly after sexually assaulting them. I know that there's one instance where a boy disappears and a neighbor had seen Nathaniel taking the boy. The police got a description of the vehicle. They found the vehicle. Nathaniel was driving the car, and the boy in the back, I want to say he was only 10 or 11 at the time, had urinated and defecated on himself from the sexual assault. Yeah, it's terrible. Just reading this, it was terrible. But each time he got caught, he would only go to prison for a couple of years, and then a couple of times he only got probation for doing it. And one instance, he was on parole from prison, sexually assaulted a child, and then somehow it didn't make it back to his parole officer, and he never really got in trouble for it.
I have a feeling that the laws were weirdly not strict about that
In the
because
70s, yeah.
Yeah, because they're one of the main suspects for the Zodiac killer, Arthur Lee Allen,
Yeah.
was in jail for touching. He worked at a school and was caught touching children inappropriately. He only went to jail for a year for it. So it's weird.
Yeah, I don't get it, but I know in the 80s, at some point in the 80s, he was in prison, and he confessed to his psychiatrist that he often fantasized about abducting, murdering, and cannibalizing children. So a month after he's released from prison in 1991, he was once again arrested for trying to kill a child. So he was, like I said, he's just out of prison for a month. He's walking down the road and he sees a young boy in a car. The mother must have like ran inside the store or whatever.
Back in the 70s and 80s, that wouldn't have been unlikely.
Well, this is 1991.
Well, yeah, it's still the same.
So, yeah.
I was left in the car all the time.
So so he was at this time 275 pounds. So he's a rather large man. And the mother comes. I don't remember if it was the mother came out of the store or it was another bystander happened to look over and see Nathaniel's in this car jumping on this child, trying to kill him. So he's arrested and given probation.
for attempted murder.
Yes. So in February 1996, there was a 10-year-old boy by the name of Zach Ramsey. Leaves his apartment to go to school and was never seen again. A neighbor of Zach saw him in the alleyway with a man who ended up matching the description of Nathaniel. So he matched the description, and also, what was that?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
Spooky.
But also the vehicle that was seen just outside of the alleyway matched Nathaniel's mother's car. So he was using her car to kidnap him, to abduct the child. So while searching Nathaniel's apartment, police found a book with a bunch of names of victims written in it. And Zach's name was written, and I believe it said died next to his name. And Nathaniel's roommate at the time reported, or at least told the police, that there were the clothes that matched Zach that he was reportedly wearing that morning, the roommate found in the house. So they also found a notebook that was written in code. And after several months, the FBI finally cracked what it said. And it was a notebook describing the killing and eating of several children.
Ew.
That he had, And apparently there was also like crude recipes in there, with like basically, boy stew and things like that. So even though that at this time Nathaniel was, close to 300 pounds, in the 2 months after Zach had disappeared, there was no record of Nathaniel going to the grocery store and buying food. And he often held cookouts at his house.
Ew.
And, yeah. You know where I'm going. So one of the guests had mentioned that the meat tasted funny, and Nathaniel had this big elaborate story about how he had been game hunting and shot some deer and some other animals, and he kind of mixed the meats up, and that's what he was serving. But there's no record of this man ever owning a gun or ever going hunting or anything like that. And police found human hair on a meat grinder in his house.
Gross.
So that's kind of
That's creepy.
That's creepy. So he ended up going to prison and dying in prison for all of that.
Yeah. Should have been in prison like 10 times before that.
And that's the sad thing, is there's like multiple times over a 30-year, 20-year time span where he probably should have been locked up for a long time.
Right.
But that wasn't like super creepy, but it was like,
Well, I mean, it's creepy enough.
yeah.
This one, I don't know how creepy this shit is. I just, because nothing creeps me out really.
I know. My old man was the same way as me. It's like, I don't know anything that's creepy.
I know.
So, this is about a boy who was supposedly possessed, and they did an exorcism. And this is from 2016.
I think I know this one.
Kennedy Ife, something.
Yes,
Yeah.
I actually know this story.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Because
it's really fucking weird.
Yeah. Well, what started it was, obviously his behaving weird. He bit his father. He said he had pain in his throat. He bit his father, threatened to cut off his own penis, complained of a python or snake inside of him. And then at this point he was being restrained.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyways, a school teacher. I did copy and paste these notes for the record, so I don't think I did them in order, or I messed this up. But so I guess this teacher, 35-year-old school teacher near St. Petersburg, Florida, started acting strangely in June. I think I got two mixed up. I'm sorry.
Why?
But anyway, the kid ended up dying, and the parents were actually put on trial
So-
for neglect.
So this is what it says. It says in August 2016 in North London, 26-year-old Kennedy Ife began acting strange and aggressive following a pain in his throat. He had reportedly bit his father, threatened to cut off his own penis, and complained of a python or snake inside of him before his family restrained him to a bed with cable ties and excessive force. The BBC reported that the family then set about attempting to cure, in quotation marks, Kennedy through restraint and prayer over the next 3 days, the court was told. His brother Colin told the police, it's clear that thing was in him. What we believed was a demon because it was not natural. It was clearly trying to kill him. We had to restrain him for himself. It was clear if we did not restrain him, he could have tried to harm people in our family. So Kennedy had been bound to his bed for 3 days without medical attention when his brother called emergency services, complaining that Kennedy was complaining of dehydration. He appeared to have developed breathing issues and was pronounced dead at 10:17 a.m. The Independent reported that while police were at the house, Colin Ife allegedly carried out an attempted resurrection by chanting and praying for Mr. Ife. All 7 of Kennedy Ife's family members were accused of manslaughter, false imprisonment, and causing or allowing the death of a vulnerable adult. A post-mortem examination revealed over 60 wounds, including possible bites to Kennedy Ife's body, and his father, Kenneth Ife, along with 4 of his brothers, sustained injuries as well. And then it says, the BBC reported that Kennedy Ife told jurors he ordered his sons to take shifts and use overwhelming force, but denied an association with occults. That sounded like I said the same thing, didn't it? Cults.
Or occults.
Occults, occults, and secret societies played any part in the death. After 4-day jury deliberation, all 7 family members were cleared of all charges on March 14th, 2019.
Yeah. So this is very recent.
That's the article that... actually, it's funny that you said that because I had that article up. Actually.
Did you? Okay, good. Because I fucked up here somewhere, but
Yeah, I don't know where you were going with this.
I somehow I must have mixed in another article.
What other story were you
This
going
is about
into?
a teacher, Danielle Harkins. She's a teacher in St. Petersburg. She started acting strange in June of 2012, developing an interest in demonic rituals. Soon after, she was arrested for abuse of 7 of her former students.
Oh, I did. We must have read the same web page
Oh, maybe.
because I remember that story too.
She had told kids they needed to rid their bodies of demons as the group gathered before dusk Saturday around a small fire near St. Petersburg Pier. She told them they should cut their skin to let the evil spirits out. Police said she told the children that's what she told the children. Then they needed to burn the wounds to ensure that those spirits would not return.
That sounds logical, doesn't it, Mandy?
Yeah, well. Let's see. When Harkins held a lighter to one teen's hand, she blew the flame out, police said. That prompted her to douse his hand, or he blew it out, douse his hand in perfume before setting it on fire. The boy suffered second-degree burns, police said. Another teen was cut on the neck with a broken bottle. Harkins used a flame to heat a small key, which she then used to cauterize the wound. Police were notified about this. She was arrested for aggravated battery and child abuse.
She was convicted too, wasn't she?
I
believe so.
no,
No?
I don't. At least I don't. It doesn't
doesn't
say.
have that in there.
Yeah, I didn't have that in there. So, but
That's weird.
it is weird because it's like, I mean, a lot of times, like when I was going through these, like I was looking and going, what's kind of out there enough that would make a movie, like a decent movie. And the Exorcism one stood out because it's kind of already been done. The Exorcism of Emily Rose, which was, a
I never saw
fictionalized
it.
retelling of what was her name? German girl.
Emily Rose.
No, her name wasn't Emily Rose. The movie version was Emily Rose. But the situation was very similar. The priests were doing exorcisms. She was wasting away. She died. The family sided with the priest, obviously, but the priest was put on trial for murder. Or
Oh,
for,
really?
For, neglect or something like that. And it's kind of played out in the movie, The Exorcism of Emily Rose, which is actually a really good movie, by the way. I love that movie. It's not really scary, but there's scary elements. But if you go on YouTube, you can find audio recordings of the chick who was possessed. And they're creepy recordings.
Really?
Yeah. Like, she's like, it sounds like what you'd imagine an exorcism or a demon-possessed person would sound like. So, but
Do you have any stories, Mandy?
I found one, but I was trying to read through it, and I'm kind of not understanding it. But I wanted to talk about a show I started watching.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Called Evil.
We love segues.
yes, and if it's scary, it's
It is.
okay.
It's and everything you guys keep talking about with the exorcism. So that's kind of what this show is about. It's called Evil. It's on Netflix. It looks like it's a season show. I was trying to watch it before we started, and basically what it is she's normally like a psychiatrist or whatever, and she goes in and investigates people who are charged with murder or crimes. And then, long story short, I haven't gotten very far, like not even halfway into the first show. But they're trying to have her lie to get whatever. So then this guy comes in who works for the church, and they try and decide if somebody really has psychological issues or if they're possessed by demons. So like all this talk was just making me think about it because I really want to go finish watching it.
Well, not for
It
the
sounds
show,
really
but
good.
spoiler alert for me is it's mental illness, not demons, but
It might not be. We'll find out.
for the show. I mean, I'm not speaking for the show. I'm speaking in real life.
And I'm
Gotcha.
speaking for that too.
I do not
So-
believe in demon possession.
Yeah, well, I don't know. We'll
I
see.
love the Exorcist is my favorite movie of all time.
That's creepy.
But it is a creepy movie, but it's my favorite movie of all time.
So I found a story. I have no idea if it's real or not. It's from a Reddit user, so I don't know if that's real or fake,
Yeah,
whatever.
Whatever.
It's creepy. If it's creepy, it works.
It's from the internet, so.
Okay, yeah. It's called The Plane Ride That Never Ends. So it says, share the story about losing track of time on a continental flight. I've been flying for almost 30 hours, and the flight attendants won't stop crying. 30 hours ago, I hopped on a late-night flight from New York heading to Los Angeles. After boarding, I saw that I had an entire row to myself. Takeoff passed without incident, and soon I was stretched out for a nap across the row. I slept for a few hours, I don't know how long, but I woke up to some severe turbulence. It's possible that the lights in the cabin went out for a moment, but I was so disoriented that it's hard to say. I checked my phone to see that it was 4:03 a.m., which I figured gave me about an hour until we landed. When I looked out my window, I was shocked to see nothing but wide open ocean. My jaw dropped. There's obviously no ocean between New York and Los Angeles. I hit the button to call the flight attendant and spent the next few minutes racking my brain for a lake that could have possibly been big enough to explain what I was seeing. I jumped when the attendant flipped off the light. She was grinning from ear to ear, and tears were pouring down her cheeks. "How can I help you, sir?" she asked. I froze for a moment at her reaction before deciding to just ask my question. "Where are we? Why does it look like we're flying over an ocean?" She wiped her cheeks to clear the tears, still grinning wildly. "Sir, we'll be landing in about an hour." Okay, thank you, I said. After she left, I checked the clock on my phone again. 4:03 a.m. blinked back at me. It hadn't changed. I had to have been waiting with my call light on for at least 5 minutes. How was it possible that it hadn't changed at all? I opened up my laptop and saw it too displayed 4:03 a.m. I pulled out my phone, started a stopwatch in the app, and spent the next 2 hours looking back and forth between the clocks, waiting for them to change. They never did. I tapped the shoulder of an older woman sitting in the row ahead of me. She looked back, an annoyed expression across her face. "Yes?" she asked. "Do you know how long until we land?" I asked. She narrowed her eyes. The flight attendant said it would be about another hour. I shook my head in confusion. That flight attendant? We almost talked 2 hours ago. We should have landed already. She stared at me as if I was crazy. I was going to continue trying to convince her, but I felt a hand on my shoulder. I spun to see a male flight attendant grinning down at me, tears pinging off his cheeks into my shoulder. "Sir, I'm going to ask you to calm down or I'll be calling the captain." I told him that wouldn't be necessary and sat back. He removed his hand and stepped away. The flight attendants continued to stop by every few hours offering meals. My stopwatch continued to tick up and is now telling me I've been on this plane for more than 30 hours. I explored all of the coach and tried talking to some of the other passengers, but they've all told me that they're expecting to land in an hour or so. What?
It's weird.
Around 3 hours ago, I tried getting into first class. I made it past the curtain, but was escorted back by 2 grinning flight attendants. Their grip on my arms were like iron. "Sir, the seatbelt sign is on," one said. "Please remain in your seat with your buckle fastened. We'll be landing in about an hour." I'd just about given up hope when a woman came down the aisle dressed in a business suit. She didn't look at me or slow down, but she dropped a piece of paper into my tray as she made her way to the bathrooms in the back of the plane. I shot a look around before unrolling it. It said, "Are you stuck too?" I pulled out a pen and wrote, "Yes, it's been 30 hours." I folded the scrap of paper up and set it on the tray closest to the aisle. She left the bathroom and picked it up as she passed. It's been 20 minutes since then. I don't know why, but I don't think the flight attendants would like it if they knew we were talking. It doesn't matter. I have to do something. I'll update you all with whatever happens next. And then that's the end.
Really? That's
Yeah.
that's really kind of strange.
I want it to be real.
I want to know what happened.
I think
Me
it'd make a
too.
good Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah, really.
That's why I decided to read it, because you had just said something about what would make for a good movie. And I
Right.
thought, that sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, that would, I
Stuck
want to know what
in.
happened.
I could see that being a good Twilight Zone episode for sure.
Did you
Absolutely.
pause it the entire time I read it? Am
No.
I really live still? Or
yeah,
Yeah,
I thought maybe you just cut me off and were like, "Oh, we'll just cut it out."
no, absolutely not.
cut it out in post.
So I've got one that's kind of like a two-parter
Okay.
because it's one that we actually talked about on episode 81 of Life in Jarl podcast.
Was I on that one? No.
Yes, actually you were. You were on that one. So this one is, let me scroll down to find it real quick because I was going to talk about the second part of it because I thought that was kind of weird and creepy, but then I was like, oh crap, it is in my notes, the first half of it. Let's see. It is why did I lose it? Because I'm a chucklehead.
Yep.
I guess if I was a good host, I would have been doing this while my wife was talking.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's the ghost.
We're all gonna die.
Yes.
Was I just, oh, here it is. So it says 8 people were murdered in their house in Villisca, Iowa. You know the story?
Yep.
So it's a small town where everybody probably knew everybody, and it was June 10th, 1912, and while everyone was sleeping in their tiny house, someone came in and killed them all with an axe. And I believe he actually crushed all their heads.
Well, there were
all-
a couple babies.
All their skulls were crushed with this axe. There was no sign of a break-in, and just before everyone went to bed, there was no break-in, and they were killed just before everyone went to bed. The family had been at church. Let's see. It is thought that the killer had climbed into the attic and waited for them to come home and go to bed. 6 of those killed were children ages 5 to 11, and only 4 were from the family. 2 killed were friends sleeping over. That says what is especially weird is that how no one woke up after each person next to them was smashed in the face with an axe. At least everyone in the house was sharing. Oh yeah, it said everyone in the house was sharing a bed. That's like how do. It's weird because, like I said,
Well,
you would think that someone would fight back because there was no signs of a struggle or anything in the house.
Well, I mean, there's a similar situation with the DeFeo murders in 1974.
Okay, yeah.
Because the six members of the family were all shot, but none of them woke up during the shootings, and none of the neighbors heard the gunshots.
Yeah.
So, which is very strange because he used a high-powered rifle.
Yeah, and so in this murder here, the other strange thing is that all the mirrors in the house were covered up by sheets.
Huh? I don't remember that part.
Yeah. So and of course, 100 years later, nothing's been solved. No
Right.
one's been,
And anyone who would have done it is long dead now.
oh, absolutely. So in 1994, this is part 2 of it because that was creepy in and of itself, right there.
Right.
In 1994, this house was purchased and restored back to its 1912 condition, and it was converted to a tourist attraction. So for $428 a night, you and your guests can stay there overnight in this house. And there's been a bunch of different people that have stayed there and reported strange paranormal experiences. They said they've had visions of a man in the hallway. They said one lady said that she was sleeping at night and woke up and heard screams of children. And so in November of 2014, a group, I believe they were from Wisconsin, went and stayed at this house. And they said about 12:45 a.m., which is roughly about the same time they believe that the murder happened in 1912, they found one of the people in this party stabbed in his chest. He actually ended up surviving the attack. They said it was the police and everyone have it listed as self-inflicted, but apparently this guy, like I said, he recovered, but he's never publicly spoken about what happened in the house that night. That was it.
Oh.
Interesting.
Found some EVPs from that.
What?
American Paranormal Research Association was there in 2009.
Oh, at that house? Mm-hmm. Really? What's it say?
It's an EVP. It says that you can hear, it sounds like people screaming and pleading for their lives. Want me to play it?
If you, put up the mic. See if we can get it. It might not sound good, but if it does, that'd be cool.
Oh, hold on.
Murder house was the sounds of a young girl screaming. You will now hear that data in this clip.
I hear it.
It does sound like it.
That is creepier than shit.
Yeah. Oh, EVPs. I've heard some EVPs
Waiting
that'll
for something scary to jump out of the video.
Yeah.
No, I've heard some EVPs that'll make you like terrified.
Yeah.
I've been shaking because I'm not easily scared, but I've been shaken by some EVPs.
Well, don't play too much of it because that's probably copyrighted.
Right.
Yeah, no, it was a different
Yeah, I didn't
one
really,
was
I didn't
looking
really
at,
get
but-
any ghost story stuff. So
You know what that reminds me of is the story. I was trying to find the notes on it too because it's probably one of my favorite kind of like creepy stories. Was I'll try to do it off the top of my head, but there was a family in Germany in the early 1900s that the whole family was found murdered.
yeah, very similar to this.
Very,
case.
very similar to that.
Yeah.
But these people were all murdered out in the horse barn. And
Except for there was a child and a woman killed in the bedroom.
yes. So the family, the father of the family, a couple of days before the murder, had found footprints outside the house
In the snow,
in the
yeah.
snow, coming from the woods to the house. Yeah. Searched through the house, never found anything. And then one night, each one of them were murdered one by one in this horse barn. And I believe, like you said, the last two were murdered inside the house. And the crazy thing was they had a housekeeper that was kind of terrified by this whole thing and quit.
left, yeah.
And quit. This other housekeeper, this was her first day.
Yeah.
And she ends up murdered in the house with them.
And the neighbors claim that they saw wood smoke coming from the chimney for several days before the family was found, but had already been dead.
Yes.
So the killer was staying there
Yes.
after the fact
Yes.
while the people were dead in the
So
barn.
it's similar to this story.
It's very similar,
He
yeah.
was actually in the attic and waited for them and came down and killed them all. I believe he killed them with an axe also.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, that was just and there's it's I couldn't imagine that though. I mean, have somebody come down out of your that's in your house
Right.
and has been staying in your house.
Well, there's stories about that a lot of people like living in crawl spaces. If this is more visual, but there's videos that people they've set up like security cameras because things were like going missing in the kitchen, and there's videos where this one woman, she was living up in the attic, like in the attic. She'd crawl out through the vent at night, climb down the refrigerator, eat the food in the refrigerator, take stuff, and climb back up. And
Could you imagine
she was
seeing
living
that
it.
video for the first time?
Yeah.
Guess what you get to do tonight before we go to bed?
Check the attic.
There's really no way to get in.
I don't care.
Well,
You're
I'm sure
checking
this guy
now.
thought the same thing. But, you know,
Just got to come in through the house.
Huh?
All you had
But-
to do was come in one time the door was unlocked, and then find their way to the attic.
We don't really have like an attic access though.
There's a couple of them,
and you're telling the whole world this.
right?
All 5 listeners.
Not where.
Let's not discuss any of that. But yeah, that kind of shit always creeps me out. Speaking of people living in crawl spaces and stuff, there was when I worked in Nashville, there was a homeless man that lived in the crawl space underneath our building.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I mean he was a really nice guy though. I couldn't talk to him because he spoke only Spanish, but I know we would sometimes go out back and steal some of his peppers and stuff to make food. But we fed him also. I mean,
Right.
It wasn't like we were just like stealing his poor homeless man food. Why are you guys staring at me like that?
I don't know. Poor person robber.
Right?
All the man had was his peppers, and you were taking them.
I know. He was a really nice guy though. Or what else you got?
Okay. This one is in September of 2014. A Utah teen returned to his home. I got this from that same website, so you may have seen this one.
Yeah.
Utah teen returned to his home to find his parents and 3 siblings dead.
Ooh, I don't know this one.
All right. In a notebook, a to-do list had been scribbled on the pages. The list looked as if the parents were readying to go on vacation. Items such as feed the pets, find someone to watch after the house were written. The Salt Lake City Tribune had reported. It appeared to be murder-suicide, but there was no suicide note, no prior indication that they would do this, no explanation. Police could not figure out why 2 parents would kill themselves and 3 of their 4 children. For a year, no one knew exactly what happened to the family or what would drive the parents to do something so unthinkable. In January, police released more chilling details in the case. According to accounts from family members and an investigation by police, the parents were driven by a belief that the apocalypse was coming and an obsession with a convicted killer. Belief, and they had an obsession with a convicted killer.
Okay.
As the Washington Post reported, the punctuation on this is terrible.
Oh, of course.
So, friends and family told police that the parents were worried about the evil in the world and wanted to escape a pending apocalypse. But most assumed they just wanted to move somewhere off the grid. Investigators also found letters written by Christy Strack to one of the state's most infamous convicted killers. I'm assuming Strack is one of the family members.
Okay.
Dan Lafferty. I don't know who that is. He was convicted in the 1984 fatal stabbing of his sister-in-law and her 1-year-old daughter. According to trial testimony, he killed the victims at the order of his brother, Ron Lafferty, who claimed to have had a revelation from God. The story became a book called Under the Banner of Heaven. Well, I might want to read that one.
Huh.
Police said Christy Strack became friends with Dan Lafferty, and she and her husband Christy Strack was the mother.
Gotcha.
And then she visited this guy in prison. I mean, that's the whole story, but it's like, it's just creepy that, to me, that's creepy, you know.
Yeah.
The idea that, because you think, because, I mean, it's kind of like the movie Frailty.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the father is getting visions that these people have demons in them, and he's killing them. You know, but is he really, or is it just mental illness? And it's kind of the same situation with his family, but the mother and father killed the kids and themselves, minus the one kid. I don't know.
That's weird. Maybe just because he wasn't there?
Maybe why not wait till he got home, though?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Maybe they had to do it right then.
Or they thought that he wasn't worth saving.
Oh, maybe.
You know, maybe because he was a teenager, maybe he was getting in trouble. Who knows?
Maybe. Who knows? I got one more. Do you have any more, Mandy?
Nope.
Okay, I got one more.
I think I might have 1 or 2. I know I have at least 1.
We probably have time to do 2 more total.
Okay.
So I got this one's it's about a haunted doll, Mandy.
I think I saw this one.
Yeah.
There's a couple of haunted doll stories, but I'm familiar with 3 of them actually.
So this is a family in Houston who I don't remember if they bought the doll or it was gifted to their daughter. But in Christmas of 2013, their daughter got an Elsa doll.
Like an Elsa from Frozen?
Yes.
Okay, then I don't know this one.
So when you pushed a button on when you pushed a button on her neck, she would sing songs from the movie Frozen. So she got it in 2013. So in 2015, the doll on occasion started singing in Spanish. So the family, I don't remember if it was the dad or mom or whoever it was, but they took the doll and they looked everywhere on it and they couldn't find a button because they thought it was just something happened and it got switched over to Spanish. But then it would go back to English and then back to Spanish. It seemed completely random, but there was no button on there to change anything.
Was it still singing?
Yes.
So singing in
It was
Spanish?
singing in Spanish.
Okay.
So in December of 2019, the family took the doll and threw it in the trash. Weeks later, they found it inside of a bench in their living room. The kids swore up and down that they did not take the doll out of the trash and bring it back into the house. And at this point, Elsa had completely given up the English language. She was only singing in Spanish. So the family was completely freaked out about this, and they took the doll, they double bagged it in trash bags, stuck it in the bottom of the garbage, and then took the garbage out. The trash went out the next day. Shortly after this, the family goes on vacation. They come back from their family trip, and what do they find? Elsa in the backyard. So this time, the family, like I said, they're done with this. They took this damn doll and they mailed it to a friend in Minnesota. And I know it said I don't remember if he just disposed of the doll or maybe even said he tied it to the front of his truck or something like that. I don't remember. But as of, because this is a relatively newer story,
right.
But as of the time I read this article, the doll has yet to reappear.
Huh. I don't know. You know me, I'm a skeptic. I don't believe in any ghosts or demon possession or anything like that, but I like the stories.
Haunted doll. So you can finish up with the last one you got there, Ian.
Okay. In 2007, ABC News documented. Oh, it's called The Phone Stalker, by the way. In 2007, ABC News documented a series of cell phone calls to families with terrifyingly specific death threats. The unidentified callers knew exactly what families were doing and what they were wearing. The families say the calls come in at all hours of the night, threatening to kill their children, their pets, and grandparents. Voicemails arrive playing recordings of their private conversations, including one with a local police detective.
Really?
The caller knows what the family said, what they're wearing and doing. And after months of investigating, the police still didn't know, and they still don't know. That's what was creepy about this one is this has been going on, and they still don't know why this is happening or who's sending these calls. So, but anyway,
Did you lose your spot?
yes, I did. I accidentally scrolled way past. And
Oh, no.
I'm trying to get back to it. I thought that was it, but there's more. Okay. This went on with a specific family. I can't really pronounce their name. Kai Canal family.
Okay.
For months. They said the caller had a scratchy voice, threatening to slit their throats. When the police tried to find the culprit, the calls were traced back to their own phones, even when they were turned off. It got worse, and two other families told ABC News they believe the callers are using their cell phones to spy on them. They say the hackers know their every move, where they are, what they're doing, and what they're wearing. The callers have recorded private conversations. Okay, that's more just what I read before. But yeah, this was never solved.
Huh.
And this is 13 years ago.
Wow.
So I don't know. To me, that's even creepier because it's one thing. It's like the Scream thing. That's that was kind of the appeal of Scream.
Yes.
They call and what are you what's your favorite scary movie? And they're like, oh, can I come over? No, my boyfriend's coming over. Your boyfriend's dead, or I'm your, whatever the scream stuff would be. I don't remember the dialogue now, but they shouldn't know that unless they're like watching you.
Yeah, exactly. That's creepy. That's some creepy shit.
Right.
Real quick, I did find a little short one, and this is it says when I was younger, about 15 years old. This was off of Reddit. It said I lived with my mother in the countryside, and the post didn't say what country they were in, but it says we were the only two people ever in the house, and one night after watching TV with me, she went into the kitchen to find two butchered rabbits laid out on the floor with all their body parts carefully placed in the correct places. Someone must have sneaked in through the back door while we were watching TV and placed them there without making a sound. So I remember we stayed at my grand's house for about a week after, and we had never found out how or why it happened. That's creepy too. You're like sitting there, and I remember reading a story another time about. Gosh, I don't remember where or how long ago it happened, but it was like a bunch of guys. They were out. I don't remember if he was in like a fraternity or what, but they stayed in this like house up in the mountains, like up in like Gatlinburg. You run a cabin out in the middle of nowhere, basically. And they were said they're all like partying one night, having a good time, and one of them was tired or whatever, so he went downstairs on like the main level and was like laying on the couch. Watching TV, and all of a sudden he heard like a big slam into the front door, and like all of his buddies come running downstairs like, what the fuck is going on? And they go outside, and there was footprints from the woods up to the window behind where he was watching TV, and then over to the door. So whoever was standing out there slammed punched the door or whatever, and then took off.
Huh.
But it's just kind of creepy to think you're like just sitting there watching TV and here's some
Somebody's watching you.
weirdo. That's the one thing I always think about. So if you guys don't know the layout of my basement, there's like a big window on the other side of the room, and my wife always gives me grief because I don't close the blinds. And there have been a couple of times I'm sitting here and I'm like, I wonder if anyone's actually out there watching.
You
me.
wouldn't be able to. You wouldn't be able to tell.
I wouldn't be able to see them.
Yeah.
Nope.
Well. No, I don't think you would. Yeah, because all you see is reflection of the light on the inside.
Yeah. Why don't you close the blinds?
I think I had to last time we did this show.
Yeah. Well, are you kidding me? You're sending your wife over there to do that?
Always. Who
What?
sleeps by the door in the bedroom?
That's not. I didn't make you sleep over there.
I know, but it's the man's job to sleep by the door.
Oh my gosh.
So let's just clarify, Nick. If you're ever in a situation where, say, you're like at a bank or something and someone pulls a gun, do you use your wife as a human shield, or do you block her, put yourself in front of her?
His initial response is to jump behind me.
No, absolutely
Yes,
not.
it is.
Absolutely.
Yes,
I'm
it
just
is.
wondering because
Not to hide. You move me in front of you into.
No.
I don't know what.
because
but
there's nothing staring at you from the window. But if you're feeling uneasy about it, you don't send your wife. You call your kids.
I will say, I will say there have been a couple of times like because I get home like super early in the morning,
Right.
and there's been times since because I talked about that last story in like episode 81 or whatever it was, one of the older episodes of the show. Actually, I think it might have been the first time we talked about those. But anyway, so that was a couple years ago we talked about it. But since then, there's been a couple of times where in the middle of winter time, I'll come home and there's like snow on the ground. I'll have to go over on the side of the house to get
trash.
to get the trash can, and I always look to see if there's footprints in the snow.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just kind of normal to do that, isn't it?
Because that'd be creepier and shit if there's like a gap between the fences.
Uh-huh.
That'd be creepier and shit if I walk back there and there's like footprints from the.
Mm-hmm. Because there is no reason for anybody to be between those two fences.
No.
Huh.
Yeah, it leads to
That's
nowhere.
creepy.
Now
That's the shit that creeps me out.
Here's the other question. Say that scenario happens. Do you run in the house and wake up your wife and tell her that story before she goes back to sleep? Like, Hey, honey, there were footprints between the fences.
Oh, I'm running inside the house and getting my fucking gun is what I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, they're already in the house. What if they have your gun?
How would they be inside the house?
I don't know. How was these other people inside the house? They didn't really have locks on doors back in
No,
1912.
no, they didn't. But it's creepy.
Yeah, that kind of happened to me once, but I'm like 99.999% sure that it was my stepdad, but
Oh, really?
yeah, not the one that you know, the other one.
Oh, okay.
But when I was younger, I have, and you know, I've always had trouble sleeping.
Yeah.
And when I was little, like 8, 9, 10, I would wait a few hours after my parents would go to bed, my mom and my stepdad, and then I'd creep out in the living room turning on the TV because I wasn't sleeping.
Yeah.
And my mom hated it because it'd usually wake her up, and then she'd be like pissed and get back to bed.
Yeah.
So my stepdad would leave for work about 6 o'clock in the morning. And there was one day that he had woken up because I didn't know I think he went to work earlier that day or something, but I was up watching TV and he's like, get your ass into bed. All right, fine. So I went back to bed and I laid there and I waited for him to leave because I couldn't go to sleep. So I watched him drive away, and then I creeped back out in the living room and turned on the TV, and the TV was in between two windows that were on the side of the house. So this window here would have been to my right. Next to that would have been like the back door, the side door of the house, and then it's fenced in, so they can only get to it through like where the driveway comes through. So I'm sitting there watching TV, and now this probably a good 20-30 minutes had passed since he had left.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, there's a pound on the window on this side. And I just instinctively thought it was him. And I went, okay, and I turned the TV off and went back to bed. And the next day, I was like, I was waiting to get yelled at. And I finally said something, and he's like, I was at work.
That's creepy.
But I'm pretty sure it was him, because he was that kind of a guy who would do that.
Yeah.
Seriously, he was kind of he'd mess with people like that.
Huh.
So
Is this the one that had the big record collection?
yeah. So,
Huh.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't him.
I know my parents said that when I was younger, I don't remember this. I just remember it from their story. We had a neighbor that used to come over all the time. His name was Mike. And my parents said that they were sitting there watching TV one night, and it was a warm summer day or warm summer night.
Yeah.
And we didn't have air conditioning, so we always had the windows open, the door open, whatever. And so the front door is open, just the screen door. And my mom said she looked up and saw a man at the front door and thought it was Mike and was like, "Hey, come on in, Mike." And then she looked again, and it was just some random guy
Just staring
through the damn
He didn't come in, did he?
No, he took off running, I guess. But.
Oh gosh.
That's good. Maybe he's like, "Oh, I'm not Mike." He was like, "Okay, but I'm not Mike. Damn it! My name's Phil."
Phil McCracken.
Yes.
But that's it. I thought that was kind of fun. We talked
Yeah.
about some creepy stuff, and you guys creeped me the fuck out. So
Good.
Such a pansy.
I am a pansy when it comes to that kind of shit.
I love it. I love it. I like having those little
You love it until you're driving home and they're like, you look up and there's someone sitting in your back seat.
I always check my back seat because
I
I
do
know
too.
better. I've been watching scary slasher films since I was 5.
Right?
I know the rules. I will survive the fucking movie.
I will say that whenever I'm walking out to my car at night, because it's dark when I walk to my car, and a lot of the times where I park at work is dark where I'm walking too also. So whenever I'm getting walking out to my car, I always hit the button just once, so it only locks just the driver's side door, but it lights up the inside of my car, and I always look in the very back of my car before I get in.
Yeah. I always check. I always check the back. Like I said, I've been watching this shit.
I
Since
don't know.
was 5.
I don't know if those stories are real.
If
or
the
not,
slasher movie ever becomes a reality and I'm in it, I better at least fucking survive to the second sequel. Because I know the stories way too well.
Yeah. I will also say that I've got some very large knives in my car too. So I guess if someone ever does try to pop out, at least I can try to
If any police officers are listening, my name is Ian. Just give me a call. I'll give you his license plate number. If you want to up your quota.
Whatever. I'm a white guy. I'll get away with it again.
Unfortunately, you're probably right.
But that's all I got. Anything else to add, guys?
Nope.
No. Nope. Just that I better survive at least parts 1, 2, and 3 of the slasher film series. I'll die in the 4th one.
If you haven't done so yet, make sure you go out and check out the Vinyl Den on YouTube if you're into music and that kind of stuff, and
check out Mandy's channel.
check out Fowler Fridays on YouTube. It's Mandy's channel where she does educational,
Sweet, innocent things.
Yes. Mandy,
There is no cursing on my show.
You
Why
know
the fuck
something?
not?
You want to know something? There's no cursing on our Vinyl Den channels also.
Oh, wow.
Not for a lack of trying, though.
Yeah, there's been only there's only been one episode where Ian cursed. It was his solo video, so I couldn't really do much about it. But he's cursed on like our regular like Big Show Sunday episodes, and I was able to cut it out. So
See, the man's editing. He's censoring me.
I am. Yeah, I am actually.
I don't know why people curse on YouTube all the time.
Yeah, well, I don't want to do it on our show.
Fine. Uppity bitch.
You can curse on here all you want, but
and I do.
I try to keep it more family friendly on the Vinyl Den.
Whatever.
I'm a family man, Ian.
You know what? If you people heard the way this fucker talks at work and then hear what he just said, the hypocrisy would be Trumpian.
But yeah, so definitely check out the Vinyl Den. Check us out on Twitter. Ian, what's our Twitter handle?
We are lizard people.
We the lizard people.
PPL.
PPL. Which, we the lizard people.
Reality redefined at Twitter.
Killing me.
I know,
Absolutely
because
killing
you have to be so corrective. Yeah. We the lizard people at Twitter.
We the lizard people.
Yeah.
At we the lizard people. I don't know why it's so difficult for you.
We the lizard people. That's what I said.
Yeah.
We the lizard people.
Yes.
Reality redefined at Twitter.
But that's all I got. Until next time.
Talk to y'all later.
Peace.
Play my role, let me tell you about it. This shit right here, man, I'm about it. Only real niggas reside around me. Yo, old lady, drop a guard around me. Dip like I know you can, bitch. Show me the ropes like we in the ring. Got you two cobras, you wanna hang. Shoulder to shoulder, the niggas basic. You know I won't lie. You know that I ain't for that fuck shit. You niggas alright, but I'm way better and she love it. Know that y'all sick as fuck. Here go this tissue, bruh. We taking the dub, hoping you get you some. This hit like a pick me up. She taking my drugs. Know they see the sign. That's some dollar signs. Know they sick as fuck. Know they sick as fuck. Tell them get well soon. Tell them get well soon. Know you sick as fuck. Get well soon. Oh shit. Watch out, you the